guys, welcome back to the channel. And for today's video, man, I want to go ahead and do one of the requests that I got from you guys in the comments, and that is to give you guys a uniform guide in terms of what uniforms you should purchase. Now, before I go ahead and start running my mouth here, guys, keep in mind that everything I say in this video, in my last video, in my next video, and in any video that you ever see from me is simply my opinion based on how I like to play this game and what I feel like these characters do for me with the addition of these uniforms, right? I'm not trying to sell you on any of these, so do not take this as a must buy or you should definitely go out there and spend your money on these because I think they're good. No. The information that I'm about to provide you with is just information for you guys to think about and then make your own decision, because with over 110 different uniforms in the freaking game, it's highly unlikely that we're all going to agree that a handful of uniforms are so far ahead of everything else, because we all have different play styles, we all like different things. So it's more than likely that a uniform that I think, or maybe this entire list of uniforms that I think are really good, may not suit any of you guys, okay? So let's go in here before I start rambling and make this one longer than it needs to be, right? So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my opinion on the uniforms that I currently own and that I have personal hands-on experience with. And I'm going to start from the top left all the way down to the bottom. And as you guys can see, I have quite a few uniforms. Now I'm going to start with Cap since he's first right here. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this uniform here is really good. It makes Cap significantly better than not having a uniform. However, if I was in a position where I didn't have this uniform, I would go ahead and buy this one right here, the last one, the Marvel Now, because it is the best uniform for him. It's going to make him an absolute tank, which is what Captain America is known for. He's known to be that guy that takes a beating and just keeps on coming at you. So if you're a Captain America fan, this is going to be the uniform that suits you, right? I don't want to spend too long on any of these uniforms because I don't want to make this one super freaking long. And you guys are going to notice that I'm going to skip a few uniforms that I do own, and the reason why I'm going to skip those is because I feel like they don't do enough for the character to justify spending that 750 crystals on them, because if I didn't have them already, I definitely would not repurchase them. So if something happened and I lost all my uniforms and Netmarble gave me back all of my crystals and I had to repurchase them again, the ones that I'm talking about in this video would be the only ones that I purchase, okay? Now, we already got Cap out the way. The next one I would buy is Ghost Rider. And even though this uniform here doesn't really do too much for him, it gives him the getaway card that gives him damage immunity, and this is the only kind of survivability Ghost Rider has in the entirety of his kit, right? He has no iframes, no damage block, no nothing. He does have a bind, but in terms of actually being able to take damage, this is the only way that he can actually survive. So this is why I have this uniform. If he gets something newer that has a lot more like survivability built into it, I would definitely be thinking about getting that if it's significantly better than this, okay? And that's a big if. Next one right here is going to be Thor. Now, Thor right here, the main reason I got this is because of the decrease to all damage. However, the skill changes that he receives with this uniform is actually really freaking nice, and it makes him significantly better than this uniform right here. Even though I do have it, but I only got it when it was on sale for 1 gold, okay? If you guys didn't get that, you missed out. But then again, you didn't really miss out on anything because this uniform is not too much better than the base kit, right? However, if you don't have a uniform for Thor, I'm going to tell you, don't buy this one just yet. Wait for Ragnarok, and he's more than likely going to get something that supersedes this, okay? So that's something for you guys to think about. Now I'm going to skip everything here, and I'm going to go ahead to talking about Baby Groot. Baby Groot with this uniform, actually Groot with this uniform, this is Groot's best uniform, guys. The universal one is pretty decent because it makes him universal, so he has no weaknesses, and it gives him immunity to lightning. That's cool, but this one right here is his best uniform in the game because it takes a character like Groot that has really good survivability, makes him even better by giving him iframes, and it gives him superb damage. Like, he's actually one of the best characters in the speed class. I know that doesn't say much because the speed class is pretty weak. However, this uniform right here, with the addition of the Troublemaker skill, makes him an absolute beast. I can take down lots of SHARON Rogers in timeline using this little guy before they can even kill me once, okay? Definitely a beast, guys. This uniform, I would definitely repurchase it if I didn't have it. Loki, although Loki doesn't necessarily need a uniform to be great, I would still repurchase this just because it gives him the extra all attack and all defense, right? Except the bold freezing effect is nice for Shadowland and stuff like that, so it's not a complete waste, okay? Definitely would repurchase Loki. I'm really hoping he gets something better, but female Loki is nice. Next one right here is going to be Destroyer. Destroyer I would definitely repurchase again if I didn't have it, just because it gives him the extra all defense. I don't necessarily care about the all attack, but it gives him the extra all defense because Destroyer is a mainly PvP character, so bumping up his survivability is going to be great because he's going to be that guy that takes out everyone's Doctor Stranges, the Dormammus, the Odins, the Jean Greys. He's going to be the guy to make them kill themselves because of his energy reflect passive, okay? Definitely a really good uniform. The uniform bonus itself is actually really nice as well. The increase to damage by 170% is no joke. 2 times, it's one of the best uniform bonuses in the game, so that is really nice. The skill changes, although they're better than the original Destroyer kit, I don't really care for them too much because I only use Destroyer as a way to make people kill themselves. Next one right here is definitely going to be Red Hulk. If I didn't have it, I would repurchase it because it is an amazing uniform. This uniform synergizes perfectly with his 4-star passive that gives him healing. Not only that, the gunfire skill right here, the 3 seconds of damage immunity, absolute beast with this. You give him invincibility on this, and he's one of the hardest characters in the game to kill, okay? Definitely a beast. Next one is going to be Doctor Strange, obviously. For obvious reasons, Doctor Strange is the strongest character in the game, so making the strong stronger is going to help you clear all of the game's content even better, right? However, the uniform bonus is no joke, okay? It takes Doctor Strange that is a character that has pretty much everything in the game. The only thing he's obviously missing is freaking summons, but apart from that, he has pretty much everything else. He has burst damage, long-ass iframes, he has damage block, he has pretty much everything. Like, even his AoE range is actually pretty damn good, okay? So for him to get the ability to heal on his strongest skill, his Demons of Danak, is actually amazing. I can't tell you guys how many times I've gotten to the point of almost dying, and then I just keep spamming the Demons of Danak, and I come all the way back to full health, and I watch the enemy either kill themselves or I kill them because of the amount of damage that this guy is dealing, right? Majority of the time, they're going to kill themselves because you're constantly reflecting the damage back at them, okay? Crazy, crazy freaking uniform bonus. He doesn't get any skill changes, but to be honest, he doesn't need it. I think that would be like a 2-game breaking if they had given him any skill changes. All right. Next one right here is actually going to be Punisher. Believe it or not, Punisher is actually a really good character with this uniform. The uniform bonus is complete garbage. Like, complete garbage, okay? Terrible, terrible uniform bonus, especially since he has so much skill cooldown built into his actual kit. However, he gets 3 skill changes right here that are actually really freaking good. Smoke Operation is a really cool skill. Love the animation, love everything about the skill except the fact that it can be interrupted. However, it is a good iframe and it deals really good damage. Wall Shot is a really good iframe as well. And Grenade Throw has a slight iframe at the beginning, which is really good for throwing off the AI's targeting off you. It is a slight iframe, so some of the time you might actually not notice it, but it is there. It is an iframe, okay? Next uniform that I would repurchase if I didn't have is going to be this guy right here. Homeless Fist, okay? The Homeless Iron Fist. This uniform right here is his best uniform. I know a lot of people are a fan of this one because of the collar and the fact that he's rocking like some nice ass sneakers, but I like it and I like it too, but I think this one right here is the best uniform for him, hands down. Like, he still gets the same uniform bonus across all the uniforms, which as you guys can see, I have the white one, right? However, the skill changes that he gets on this one is actually pretty insane. He gets the freaking pressure point jab right here, and that gives him some damage block or damage immunity. On top of that, he gets a long iframe on Immortal Iron Fist, which is amazing because without these 2 changes, he actually lacks survivability. That is the only weakness that Iron Fist has in this game. He's really, really up there when it comes to burst damage. However, without a uniform, he's one of the hardest characters to use because he dies very, very easily, which is why you guys see that in order to cover that up, Netmarble made it so that the uniforms gave him HP recovery and invincibility because he really, really needs that, okay? And the next one on this list right here, where we at? The Star-Lord uniform is nice simply because it gives you a little bit more out of his leadership, which is what he's known for. However, the changes to his skills are not all that bad. He gets a couple iframes, which really helps in terms of keeping him alive. However, Star-Lord's damage is still pretty low. So this one right here, even though I would repurchase it, it's up to you guys if you can justify spending crystals on this uniform right here, because you're only going to get really 5% more energy attack out of him. Next one I would buy if I was repurchasing these uniforms, guys, is actually going to be She-Hulk, for the same reason as Star-Lord, because it bumps up her leadership, right? It actually bumps up her leadership a little bit more than Star-Lord's. It takes you from 48 to 55, which is even more than Star-Lord's to begin with. So for that reason alone, I would repurchase it, because she's actually the main character for a lot of the end game content in terms of her leadership, because a lot of those characters are males and she is amazing against male types. Okay, so the next one right here I would purchase is actually gonna be Silk for the uniform bonus, aka half of Spider-Man's tier 2 passive. Okay, so the 2-second increase to web time may seem like it's garbage. However, take a look at this lady. Okay, the assassin in white. Okay, anyways, she's amazing even without this uniform. However, guys, this slight increase to her web time makes her one of the most dominating PvP characters in the game, right? If you have a tier 2 wasp on your team and you go up against a Doctor Strange, you can probably take down that Doctor Strange with the ease if you have Silk built up pretty well. Okay, she's that deadly. I'm not saying she's better than Doctor Strange by any means. I'm just saying she's one of those characters where a lot of people sleep on her, but she's actually a freaking amazing character. And this web time is no joke, because if you play her properly, you can keep the enemy locked down until they're dead. And the next one I would buy if I was going to repurchase these guys is going to be Amadeus Cho, because I think his uniform bonus is actually pretty good. The only thing that I think this guy's missing from his kit is a little bit of healing. His damage is great. With this uniform, he has a good bit of survivability. However, to me, he needs his tier 2 passive in order to really shine, because even with this uniform, although he's better than Hulk and She-Hulk, he's still far behind Red Hulk in terms of best Hulk in the game. So if you like a Hulk and you already have the red guy, go ahead and get this guy as the second choice. Next uniform that I would repurchase is obviously gonna be my girl, my baby, SHARON freaking Rogers. The first uniform you should buy. Her uniform bonus may seem like crap, but it actually is pretty decent since she's a blast type and she's destined to go up against speed types, because that is her weakness. Speed types have a lot of dodge natively, so this 20% ignore dodge is going to make it easier for you to kill those speed types. However, the main reason why I love this uniform is for the new 4 skill and the new 5 skill. Absolutely love the 5 skill. The 5 skill has a 2-second stun on it, but that's not even what matters. It's the fact that once you cast this skill right here, guys, it has this stun lock type effect that it just keeps pulling in the enemy and guard breaking him constantly until they either have an invincibility obelisk that activates, or they try to iframe out of it, but most of the time they're gonna be dead before they can get out of this even once. Like even characters like Odin, freaking Doctor Strange, once they get caught in this, all you're seeing is just them getting pulled to their knees and you just blast them down with the Paladin Blast. Okay, these 2 skills right here working in tandem is actually one of the most OP combinations in the game right now. Okay, great for every single game mode. I can say that with absolute confidence. I don't care who agrees with me or who doesn't agree with me. Anyways, let's move on. Now, you notice I left out a few uniforms. One of them that I left out that I would probably repurchase again is Moon Knight, because I'm a big Batman fan, and it does give him an iframe on this skill right here. And since Moon Knight is pretty hard to kill once you get him to tier 2, having that iframe on the freaking Crescent Dart is going to make him a lot better than not having a uniform. And I personally think he looks way better, way cooler with this one right here. Okay, now let's jump over into the uniforms that I don't currently own. And since I don't own them, and I'm a big fan of practical application, there's only so much you can actually see in the skill preview. And ultimately, it's going to come down to how these uniforms actually perform in game modes like Shadowland, World Boss, and Alliance Battle in order to determine how good they are, right? There's really only so much you can see from looking at them in the skill preview, because that is a controlled environment where the AI acts in a desired manner, whether you want them to attack you or not attack you. And once you take these uniforms into actual combat, that's when you're going to really start to see their flaws and see where they truly shine, right? and that is why I can't really go into detail too much about uniforms that I don't own personally. However, just by looking at the bonuses and the skills from these uniforms, I can give you guys my honest opinion in regards to which of these uniforms I'm actually seriously considering buying. Okay, Black Widow, because this is her best uniform and I think she's amazing for PvP. As for the rest, I would skip everything and go down here. I'm thinking about getting this one for Luke Cage, even though I already own one, and this one right here is better than the one I own. However, it is not by that much, so in all honesty, I might just forget about getting this one for a while. This one right here, however, I am seriously considering buying, and that is Black Bolt, because it gives him a damage proc on his freaking uniform bonus, which is amazing. It allows you to put something else on his obelisk, like invincibility, which if you do that and you tier 2 him, is going to make him super hard to kill because he has that 5 seconds of damage immunity, right? This skill change right here is actually pretty good. It's useful for PvP and Shadowland because it kind of grabs all the enemies in front of you and just funnels them together, and it makes it very easy to push them into a corner and just dominate them, right? And this is going to be great for Shadowland and PvP. So for those reasons, I think this uniform right here would be a really good addition to my collection. The only reason why I don't currently own it is because I already have this one, and I really have to think long and hard about how I spend my crystals, because I don't like to waste anything, because I don't spend a lot when it comes to this game, right? Next one I would definitely think about buying is Sif, because Sif without a uniform is actually a really lackluster character. She doesn't shine in terms of damage or survivability. However, with this uniform right here, she gets a lot of skill changes and she gets a lot of iframes thrown in, and she also gets damage block, right? And 2 seconds of damage immunity doesn't seem like a lot when it's on a 10-second cooldown, but she gets a good bit of iframe mixed in here. So this is actually going to take her from being a kind of a so-so whatever character to actually being a very decent character, okay? So if you're a fan of the Asgardians, I would say go ahead and get this uniform, because even though the all speed is not really that great of a bonus, the uniform changes are actually pretty damn good, okay? And you guys may have noticed that I left out mentioning Elsa, and the reason why is because this one right here is a little bit better than the one I own, right? Their bonuses are still the same, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, get this one right here because it is a lot more fluid. Like, the skills flow together a lot better than with this one. If you don't own a uniform for Elsa, go ahead and get this one right here, because Elsa without a uniform is actually pretty lackluster, to be honest with you guys. So I highly recommend you guys get a uniform for her, because it's going to take her to the top of the freaking speed class right now, okay? Uniform bonus is amazing, okay? One of the best uniform bonus in the game, for sure, for sure. Skill changes, love them on this uniform, okay? Still gotta say, I love my girl Elsa in the Secret Wars outfit though. Looks dope. Anyways, and the last two that I was thinking about buying right here, guys, is going to be Karnak, just because of this skill right here. This skill right here allows him to remove every single buff in the game. If you go up against Doctor Strange, he's going to take away Doctor Strange's time freeze. He's going to take away all their damage immunity. He's going to take away Dormammu's ability to reflect. It's actually a really strong skill. However, Karnak as a whole, like as a character, the reason why I don't have this yet, even though I think this is an amazing skill, is because Karnak is so bad. Like, his skill set, they definitely need to think about reworking it, because if he did get a rework, it would actually be one of the most powerful characters in the game, simply because of this skill change right here. Just this one skill change. His uniform bonus is not terrible, but this one skill change right here makes this uniform something that you should definitely think about getting if you're really big into PvP type gameplay, okay? You're definitely going to need to tier 2 him though, because he does not have very good survivability and his damage is kind of low, to be honest with you guys. But if you're going to buy this uniform, you're going to have to go all in on this guy, and you're going to have to friggin' upgrade the uniform and get him in really good standings if you want to capitalize on this effect, right? Because otherwise he's just going to die way too quickly to make an impact. Last uniform that I would buy is going to be my girl right here, Gwenpool, right? Not sure what's going on with the uniform bonus, but it's not showing up. Netmarble, fix your damn game. Anyways, the uniform bonus that's supposed to be here that is not here right now, it makes it so that instead of healing 1% when she gets to 90%, she actually heals for 5%, similar to freaking Mantis. So if you guys know how hard Mantis is to get rid of because of the constant healing, Gwenpool is going to be just the same. The only difference is instead of having the fear, Gwenpool is going to have a ton of iframes, right? This skill change right here, I don't necessarily like it because it puts a hamper on the way that I like to play my Gwenpool. However, you can't win them all, right? I would still buy this uniform because it's going to make her even harder to kill. And how could I forget, guys? I forgot my girl Crystal. I definitely will purchase this uniform when I get around to it. The look is, it's whatever. I would have liked her better with long hair, but whatever. I do like the changes to Cyclone, and I love the Elemental Rage, okay? These two skill changes are amazing. I don't know what they're going on about web shots because I did not know she was a spider, but whatever. These skill changes that she gets right here are actually pretty dope, and they're on the skills that I use most often, so definitely love that. More Cyclones means more CC. More CC means easier fights. And who doesn't love that? Come on, guys. That is freaking amazing, okay? Absolutely love that. And the only reason why I didn't buy this uniform like day one when it got released is because of this damn Magneto Deluxe package that I'm still saving for, okay? But yeah, man, that's all I have to say for this one, guys. I hope it was at least mildly informative. Sorry if your favorite uniform did not make the list, but it is what it is. We can't all agree on the same things, and that's fine. I still love you guys all the same. And I'll see you guys in the next one, man. And I'm out.